It's blood poisoning. This proves fatal in half of the cases. Did you know that if they killed a lobster and he died, did you know if you ate him within, if you didn't eat him within 30 minutes, if he wasn't boiled, I mean if they just killed him, do you know you could die within minutes?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he has this poisonous ink that fills his body right after he dies. And that's why they put him in the boiling water, and then he's grabbing his claws all over the pot, and he said, "Ee!" He really is screaming his head off. He doesn't want to get in there. That's how they have to. Now, there's quotes where Sister White says, we should not treat creatures.
They boil them alive?
Yeah, they boil them alive. You'll die if you don't eat a lobster. You go into Red Lobster anywhere, they got a big aquarium of the live lobsters, and you pick out which one you want, and then they put it in there.
That's right.
So yes, if you don't, that stuff will poison you, but it's still in there. You just don't feel it as quickly. Let me see. It says Clostridium botulinum is the cause of botulism.
Yeah.
Most commonly associated with canned or preserved foods, may also be transmitted by raw or poorly cooked shellfish.
Yes.
It says shellfish consumption is always, and they have it blackened, a risk to health. But there are situations in which the risk is extremely high and shellfish are formally contraindicated. AIDS, leukemia, lymphoma, tumors, cancer, chemotherapy, cancer treatment, chronic kidney failure, diabetes. Do you know if people have diabetes, they're not supposed to eat any shellfish? This is information we need to know and let people know when we're dealing with people with diabetes. Liver disease such as hepatitis, cirrhosis, and others. Those who suffer from alcoholism, lack of gastric acid. These are things that are contraindicated, means they should absolutely not eat these things because it's very, very detrimental to their health. So I told you about the lobster. Keep in mind also, it is impossible to detect contaminated mussels, this is what the book says, or other shellfish, since their appearance and flavor are completely normal, even if they're contaminated. And actually, you know that good smell of the shrimp and the lobster? I used to love shrimp and lobster. That was my favorite food. Every weekend in San Francisco, when I was with Grandma, we went to Houlihan's, and I got to eat all the shrimp and lobster I wanted, and then my hot fudge sundae to go on top of it. And it has a smell that just smells so good and a taste to me, and most people who like shellfish. I found out in the book that's the poison in the shellfish that's giving that smell. Yes. And that's why you can't tell it's toxic, because people take that as being fresh. It is extremely difficult to detect these toxins even using chemical tests. Okay? Now, let's get to the regular flesh. She says, the liability to take disease is increased tenfold by meat eating. What does that mean? What's tenfold?
10 times.
Isn't it 10 times 10? Isn't it a fold? What is 10 times 10?
Not 10 times 10. 100 fold is 100%.
Okay.
So 10 fold is 1,000.
So 1,000 times. So 1,000 times.
Not 1,000 times. 10 times, but 1,000%.
Okay, 1,000%. Who wants to increase their risk of that? From eating flesh. And then she says eating swine increases it even greater.
The liability of eating flesh is what?
The liability to take disease is increased tenfold by meat eating. So if somebody is suffering from cancer, diabetes, heart disease, if they're not suffering from this and they're in pretty good health, then we're going to be mild, progressive. But if the disease is aggressive, we have to be what? We have to be aggressive. We have to tell them, look, you're not going to fight cancer as long as you eat meat. You don't wait 7 weeks to tell them. You need to tell them up front. And give them information, give them materials, give them pamphlets. There's lots of pamphlets available. Hold on, Tony. There's lots of pamphlets available that cover this issue. Orion Publishing, if you look in the magazines, they have these little pamphlets. You can get like a pack of 100 for maybe $4, $6. You can just give the handouts. Steps to Life, they have handouts on flesh food and why I'm a vegetarian. Get these things and give them little pamphlets so that they can inform themselves. Okay, now Hosea chapter 3. Let's go to Hosea chapter 3, verse 5. We're almost finished here. So today we're just going back to the old paths. Why God gave us the diet He gave us. Now, from the Garden of Eden, they were facing the cross, right? And now from the cross, we're going back to the Garden of Eden, right? Yes. God is trying to lead His people back to the original diet. And we said original diet in the Garden of Eden. That would include the vegetables. Because we're mortal and we perspire, we lose electrolytes. We have to replace those through the green herb field. One more thing I wanted to say while I'm thinking about it. Pumpkin, eggplant, squash, bell peppers, and tomatoes are not vegetables.
They're fruits.
They're fruits.
Okay, say that again. Pumpkin.
I'll just give you a key. Anything that has a seed in it
It's a fruit.
is a fruit. Anything that's squash, tomatoes, pumpkins, eggplants, cucumbers, bell peppers, anything that has a seed in it is a fruit. Here's the other thing. Green bell peppers are, okay, are we supposed to eat anything unripe?
No.
No. Do you know green bell peppers are unripe? Yes. They go through different coloring stages. I learned this too. I'm learning as I go as well. It's an unripe fruit, green bell peppers. But when you set it aside, well, they pick it early. And the reason why they pick it early is because the shelf life is longer and they make more money. It's all about the money.
Right.
But the best are the colored ones,
Yes.
your orange ones, your yellow ones, your red ones. And then and you can get them 99-cent store. You can get 3 in a pack. Okay. So Hosea chapter 3. Let's read this. Now, somebody says, well, God said we can eat the clean meat. In these last days, we can eat the clean meat. There's nothing wrong with eating meat. We'll just take them to Hosea. Now, the purpose, I know we know this already, most of us, but this is just repetition and enlargement. Because we're laying a foundation before we build the walls. What if somebody built the walls first? Or what if could they put the roof without the walls? No, we have to have the foundation first. So today's class is very basic, very simple. Okay, Hosea chapter 3, verse 5, and I'll read it through chapter 4, verse 3. It says, afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and His goodness in their latter days. So what's it referring to? The end times. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there's no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Are people going around talking about God everywhere? No. They're worried about the Black Friday sale, how many flat screens they could get. They're worried about what kind of car they're driving. I mean, they're not talking about God. You go in the restaurant, you don't hear a conversation about God. Verse 2, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing. I told you guys about my friend's son today, right? For those who weren't here, one of the very first people I ever met when I moved out here 30 years ago, the day before Thanksgiving, he was in Palmdale. He was driving his Bentley. Somebody came up to him with a gun, told him to hand over the keys. He did, and they shot him and murdered him. This was just the day before Thanksgiving. People are, and this was in the middle of the day, people are getting bold with crime. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. Is this happening?
Yes.
Yes. As a result, it says, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, that's the land animals, with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea shall also be taken away. Taken away is dying of disease. So, it says languish. Does anyone know what languish means?
Waste away.
Dying of sickness and disease, wasting away. Now, what is one of the rules when God said you can eat the clean animals? What was one of the rules about the food? No, not that one.
No disease.
Very good. Let's go to Deuteronomy 14:21. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 21. It says, "Ye shall not eat of anything that" what? "Dieth of itself." Do you know there is a video on YouTube? If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's called Meat, M-E-E-T, Your Meat, M-E-A-T. YouTube, on the website, on the internet. You just type in YOUTUBE.com. And it's Meat, M-E-E-T, Your Meat, M-E-A-T. They will tell you in that video, Alec Baldwin is the narrator. They will tell you in that video, they will show you these things are dying and languishing, and they're pulling them and they're killing them, and they'll have tumors on their face, and they'll cut the tumor off and chop it up and put it in a vat, and then serve the meat. The chickens. They said if a chicken has a pin tip dot on them, that means they've had cancer for 10 years. But when the chicken goes on the conveyor belt, 100 chickens fly through the conveyor belt in 1 minute. Can they properly check those chickens? No. What happened to the eggs a few months ago?
They were diseased.
500 million eggs were recalled, correct? And the FDA, when the FDA gets in, it's serious, because the FDA lets everything slip by just about. The FDA said that these chicken places are not inspecting their chickens. They said it should take them 6 minutes to inspect one chicken. I don't think that's enough time either, but 100 chickens on the conveyor belt in 1 minute. The chickens are diseased. What about the fish? What did I tell you earlier? Mercury. Do you know when I was at the college 10 years ago? This was in 2000, I'll never forget. Almost 11 years ago. I just started nursing school. You know those glass thermometers your mom raised you up on? And then the break and the little ball would roll around and you could play with it? We broke the thermometer. They shut down the entire building. They yellow taped it, and these men in white suits, they looked like astronauts, came in from hazmat. We were like, oh my goodness, what's going on? They said that that one little tiny ball was so toxic and deadly, they had to sterilize the whole place. Yet they put it where? In our teeth. We're told by Sister White to remove them. The silver fillings have mercury amalgams. But it's in the fish. Now let me ask you guys a question. If you had a gun with 10 bullets, 10 bullet barrel, and I put 5 bullets in there and spun it around, would you let me put it to your head?
How about even one?
But do you know that's what, exactly. But do you know they say 60% of the fish now is contaminated with mercury? That's not a chance I want to take. And they're putting placards on the frozen cases of where the fish are at Costco and other stores. Yes. It'll tell you, warning, this fish may contain mercury. And they're still buying it. Just like the smoking pack of cigarettes. I can't talk. I used to be one of them. Praise the Lord. God give me victory over smoking.